Can you talk about like the different levels of kits that
Yeah.
like so it's like
I love this
because you can
conversation.
go like you called it bagging it like
Yeah,
I'm
I
assuming that's
love
just
that
a
phrase,
pouch like
bagging it.
I love bagging it, dude. Bag it, dude.
so like you can go
I am a bag guy for life. Don't get me wrong. I love having the cart and like, sitting there and having everything. It's great, when you're on like a really big job and you have like a million things going on that you need to go for like every department. And you need that power source of this giant tower of power. But there's something about just like being able to go and just be in and out incognito on a job, especially when you're like in a really shitty location. There's no space, it's a tiny apartment. Just having the bag, Sometimes I wish I have a boom up. And I started off doing features where like I just had the bag on a chair, and then a boom up, out there. And like I didn't have a cart, but like I was working out of a bag and I had a boom up. But there's something about producers love when you're like on a location and they're like, fuck the sound cart. But then it's like, no, I'm just gonna be in a bag. I'm gonna go sit in the back somewhere, and like but that's like a diner or like a small location where there's like no space for anyone to be in.
you're just in the shot with the bag.
Dude, they just love, and like I don't know, I don't mind switching it up. I get some mixers.
Does your rate change?
No, definitely not. Because it's still the same amount of equipment, same amount of microphones going. And also, it's good to have a backup recorder on you because if your thing craps out, I'll just go to my bag, and do the rest of the day, or vice versa. You have to we're going to be filming in this house all day. You have your whole space, but then we're going to go in the woods as a skeleton crew, and you have like 10 minutes to fucking, okay, bag it, I've seen some cool mixers who have a bag in their cart, like a little like
they pull
bucket,
out the shelf.
and it's just like on the sides of it, they just like have everything plugged in. They just like unplug, take the bag out, and then whatever the cables are inside the bag, they just like plug it in, and you just keep going. And it's pretty gnarly. Yeah, I like that. That's kind of like my jam.
Can you talk about like, okay, I just graduated. I need to start getting jobs. If you're gonna build your bag kit, something like that, what are the must-haves?
A good multi-track recorder. I'm a big sound devices guy. Some people are Zaxcom. It's like a Mac PC argument.
You go straight to the 8-channel. You start with a 4.
I think 8-channel is the way to go because even if you don't have the amount of microphones, you just have the recorder ready to go. And then eventually you can work your way up, getting more mics. And now they have like 16-track recorders, 24-track recorders that are like this big. It's insane. Yeah, that 88's an 8-track recorder, but that's my favorite recorder. I started on that recorder. A lot of big movies were mixed on that. And when I was in SVA, that was a recorder that I learned on, like all of my. Okay. So when I saw it today walking into the studio, I was like, whoa, like this bad boy. I still have it sitting, yeah. It's in my studio with my friends. We just have an 88 just sitting there. It's like, it's a relic, but it's so good.
Now you know why Alan just leaves it here.
Yeah, it is an old recorder, but like it is solid, my guy. Like it is. Yeah, I've done a lot of features on that.
What makes them like? Do they sound different, or is it just like?
I think it's just what it can do with limiters. I think that recorder, every recorder has like built-in limiters, and it depends on how good it is. If you clip or you're too loud, it'll fix it for you.
As someone who's like really terrible at sound,
yeah,
what is that like?
I feel like if you just set
like a limiter is like it just won't it
just won't let it clip. It won't let it peak if you can't do it yourself. If you don't want to monitor it, you just like make sure the limiters are all set. Especially it's great for like people who are like one-man banding where they have like 4 or 5 lavs and they're booming at the same time. And you can't like mix it.
Yeah.
You just
the random horror
set
movie
the limiters so in case you weren't there to get it, the limiter should fix it. There'll be times where especially with the 88, I'll like do a scene and I'm like, oh my god, that sounded like crap. It clipped. Oh my god, that was bad. And I do the playback, and it sounds fine. And I'm like, man, that's awesome. These limiters. I mean, the CL8 and that guy was pretty.
So that's like, I would say that sounds like the equivalent of like highlight roll off.
Yeah.
Cameras.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, when you're doing like big ensemble movies, you want to have your limiters going because you're not gonna. It's hard to figure out like you have 8 people. You have 8 people talking. Big dinner scenes. Or like long tracking shots where it's like we're gonna do a oneer and there's like 10 people who come in and out of sequences and like you gotta be ready to like go. So that's you gotta have the recorder. I think is like the big thing. Mm-hmm. After that. You can upgrade your microphones. I would say Sennheiser microphones, those G4 mics. Electrosonics are my favorite. And I love COS11s and DPAs. Those are great lav mics. But I love using Electrosonics as like my wireless system.
Is it worth like renting stuff to begin with, or
100%.
should you just dive in and buy it?
I think you should dive in and buy it. Also, rental houses like Gotham or other places, they can finance a whole kit for you, and then you're just paying like a monthly fee for it.
Oh, nice.
You know, they finance your whole kit.
Okay.
And that's how old mixers start off, you know? You're like, all right, cool, I want this whole thing. Okay, that's like a $30,000 kit, but like you'll pay like $500 a month for it, you know, with zero interest maybe for like a year, and then you start adding interest to it. But like most sound guys, like they make, because the kit rental, you know?
Yeah.
You make that money, baby, and you
Right.
pay off your kit so fast. And I feel like sound is like very easy because, you know, there's always gonna be like new little things that come out, but like I feel like every 10 years, every 6 years, I'm like upgrading, you know, whereas like cameras, like every 6 months there's something new you have to get.
Is there worth like it's almost like there's two ways to buy a car. You either buy it and then you trade it in every 2 years.
Yeah.
Or you run it into the fucking ground.
Run it
Like,
into
do
the
you
ground.
like what's the sound?
I don't do that with my sound gear. I'm sure I've seen other sound kits of other people's, and they're like, wow, these are some old shit. Gotta get some other cables fixed. But like, no, like, I mean, you get to a certain point where you just have to upgrade. But like, yeah, I love that like certain cables or certain gear can like withstand heavy duty, crazy environments. You know, you're going from a desert to a freezing location or whatever. It can handle that kind of stuff, and you need to have a recorder that like is like fail safe. You know, and
It's like the tech of it doesn't really matter as long as the
audio
sounds good.
long as the dialogue is clean and you're getting your ISO tracks, that's all you can ask for.
Yeah.
You know, you want clean tracks and you want it all there recorded.
Have you ever had
you wanna
like
make sure.
like a lot of producers will be like, oh, we only shoot on Sonys, and then you're like, oh, okay. Have you ever had a producer be like, oh, I only like my recordings on?
Yeah, I know.
Only
I mean,
use Shore mics. Yeah.
that kind of brings me to that world of like reality TV, especially those like union reality TV shows where like it's like a union sound supervisor who has like 10 sound kits, and he makes the TV show
Rent them
all for like the duration of the month or two, and then you just hire operators to show up, and it's just like a lot of times it's just like a bunch of recorders in bags, and you're like, okay, you're on team whatever, and you're just gonna record
Alpha Squad.
and it's like, you know, those like, you know, like Hell's Kitchen or something like that, you know, it's like 10 contestants, 15 contestants, I don't know, and there's like you're just assigned to a thing, and it's shooting all the time, and you just show up, it's all set up for you, you just do it. Just press record and monitor everything. And then this guy is just making bank.
Yeah.
Because he owns all the gear and he's not doing anything. But it's smart. But it's smart. Like
Coordinating.
if I had 10 sound kits, I did the same thing.